Well, I hate to have to say it, but I had a big problem with the guitar. I hadn't discovered it right away. It wasn't until after I put in the end graft that I found out when I glued the back on to the guitar, the tail block somehow slid outward, and it was out like a 1/4 inch from where it should have been. So the length of the top was a 1/4 inch shorter than the length of the back. So it looked really goofy. And I tried loosening the joint and pushing the tail block back in, but then it just wound up with the sides bending sharply right where I stopped loosening. So it was never going to look right, and I decided the best action was to just start over. So here I am a few weeks later, right back to where I was a few weeks ago with the original. There's really no difference from that guitar to this. They seemed to be pretty much successive cuts off of the same wood, the koa. And then this is also a torrefied Adirondack spruce top, and I've got the tail graft in place. So now I'm ready to move on to doing the bindings around the body. These are some of the bindings. The grained ivoroid binding itself, and then purfling lines. These are little ivory and black lines, and here are some other ivory, black, and black again, so it's black, ivory, black, and more black, ivory, black. So all told, I've got 4, 8, 12, 16 sets of purfling and binding lines, and then there is going to be a strip of abalone sandwiched between various purfling lines. So this will be quite a long project. I've got the binding and purfling channels cut, and now comes the tricky part. Along the sides, I'll have this strip of purfling that's black and white, well, ivory and white, and then a strip of abalone, and then the binding itself with more black and white lines. But I don't want to just butt this side purfling up against the end graft here. I want it mitered in nicely, so what I'm going to do is make a diagonal cut on both the pieces on the end graft and the pieces along the side, and then I can miter those together and have only the ivory binding strip overlapping here, so it'll just give it a nice finished look, but that's going to take a while. It's a little bit loose right now because I've just got it taped in place, but anyway, that's the effect I'm looking for. So the lines come down and just frame the ivoroid plastic rather than going straight across and boxing it off. Along the back edge and the top edge, this white piece is a Teflon strip, and after the glue sets, I'll pull out the Teflon and put the abalone along the top and the back. But the side abalone is going in right now and using a different kind of material called Zip Flex, and it's just easier to do this one as I glue the rest of the bindings in place. I've got the first section taped in place, and now I'm going to use really thin cyanoacrylate super glue to secure all of this. The nice part of this really thin glue is it just finds the tiniest gaps between the pieces of purfling and binding and soaks right in. Okay, I'll let that sit for a few minutes and take off the tape and put a few more dabs of glue in where the tape was sitting, although mostly the glue just wicks right under it and finds the gaps to go into. Now everything is installed except for the abalone along the top edge and the back edge. So I'm going to scrape the bindings and purflings most of the way flush to their surfaces, and then I'll pull out the Teflon and put in the little pieces of abalone. I have all these strips of abalone. It's actually a product called Ablam. It's laminated, very thin pieces of abalone. It comes in sheets and then gets sliced up. These particular strips are 47 thousandths of an inch wide, and I'm going to inlay them along the top and the back edge. So what I do is peel out the Teflon, so pull out the Teflon, doesn't all have to come out at once, and grab a strip and push it into the slot left by the Teflon. Obviously, the abalone cracks quite a lot, but because of the ever-changing patterns and colors in this shell, you really can't ever see those cracks as they occur once it's all glued in place. Some of the pieces can be a little ornery. So after I get a little bit in, I drizzle in some glue, and it finds all those tiny cracks and seeps right down in there. So that's the process, all the way around the back and then the top. So the back is done, and I will wait for the glue to dry, then I can flip it over and do the top. Here it is. All of the surfaces have been scraped and sanded smooth, and that's it for the body. Now I'll start working on the neck, but quite happy with how it turned out.